Just a little bit caught in the middle. Life is a maze and love is a riddle. I don't know where to go, can't do it alone. I've tried and I don't know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rusco Gaming Podcast, episode 7. It's been quite a while since my last podcast, and there hasn't been a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't really felt like for a need for a podcast. I mean, really, there's no need for me to do a podcast anyway. We got like 15, 20 people who watch it. So for those 20 people that watch it, I very much appreciate it. Hopefully one day this will be big. Might not be, probably won't be, but it might. Today, we got a pretty good episode. Hopefully, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in America. A little bit about, we'll get there. There's just some stuff going on in America we're going to talk about. After that, we're going to talk about the best of E3 2018. E3 just got done. This is the Rusco Gaming Podcast. I talk about more than gaming, but might as well touch gaming a little bit. Then after talk about E3, we'll talk about some sports, starting with esports, because esports are sports. It's even on ESPN now, people. So we'll talk about some of the stuff happening in esports. And we're going to talk about pretty much the only thing that people are talking about in sports, where LeBron is going to go, where I think he should go. Different scenarios and stuff like that could happen. We'll talk about it a little bit. Then we'll finish up with the World Cup that is going on currently, the group stage, or the group pairings. So we'll talk about my picks for that and where we sit in the standings after the first week. They started last week, I believe. So after the first week, we'll go from there. So, without further ado, just enjoy the show. Enjoy the show, people. Enjoy the show. First things first. Hello. First topic to discuss. I told you. Talking about stuff in America, the immigration separation of children and their parents, and then putting in, what are they called, immigration camps they're called, right? So everyone's like, oh, it's just another Nazi scenario. They're pulling up pictures of what the concentration camps look like and what the camps for the children look like and stuff like that, and all this jazz. But the thing is, first of all, I don't agree with any of it. Okay, this country was built on immigration. Literally all of us were immigrations. We took the country from the Indians. No one bats an eye about that when talking about history. Everyone's like, fuck yeah, America. We weren't even American. We took it from the Indians, so we became America. Now fucking America. Freedom. No one remembers that we were all immigrants. They're like, well, yeah, we were immigrants, but we had the right to come over here because we were leaving a different country to escape the king's rule. They're fucking Mexicans are leaving too to escape bad scenarios. They just want a good life for their children. Obviously, yeah, it's going to happen. There's going to be some bad apples that come. But first, Mexicans are not the only immigrants coming, okay? Russians are coming all the time. We got Europeans always coming over still. Canadians are coming here, people. Everyone loves Canada, but they're still coming here too. French Canadians, normal Canadians. You got people from the Pacific Islands. They're still coming. Cubans. No one's ever talked about Cubans. Those dudes have been coming over forever. Why? Because they're escaping a dictator. So they're like, yes, we should help out the Cubans. They have a rough thing. Mexico living is not fun, all sunshine, and it's not Cancun, people. Mexico is not just Cancun and wherever the hell people go to vacation. There's like 3 vacation spots in Mexico that every American goes to. Outside of those spots, not the greatest places to live. Not the greatest place to even visit. If you're white, you probably shouldn't go there, honestly. Because, one, they hate Americans. Typically. Not all of them, obviously. But they don't like us. Two, it's a lot of like gang and stuff like that. Like imagine the worst places in like Chicago. Those are entire towns. Okay, there isn't a lot of good places to go in Mexico. There's nothing against the country of Mexico or the Mexican people. There's a lot of good Mexican people. I have a lot of friends that are Mexican, but it's just not the greatest of places to live. It's not like a third world country by any means, but it's just not that great to live. If you had a family and you didn't have the greatest living situation, would you not want to move to do it to give them a better life? Oh, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to come here legally. Yes and no. Okay, you can get a passport and visit, but you want to live, so you got to get a work visa. So you got to apply for a work visa. Which work visas, I will say, are not entirely that hard to get. They're pretty easy to get. But work visas expire. But you can't be on a work visa and have your students have your children go to school to become students. So you have to get a full-time U.S. citizenship, or they have to be born here and then they can be citizens, obviously. But it's not that hard, or to say it's not hard to become a U.S. citizen is ridiculous, because it's common knowledge. Okay, I shouldn't say common knowledge, because I guarantee a lot of people don't know this. They haven't changed the test to become a U.S. citizen, and it is extremely difficult. If you don't know anything about history, which 80% of the American population doesn't fucking know basic history, like you could just look at any of those talk shows that go around and ask people. Granted, some of those are set up, but I guarantee not all of them. They're like, hey, like, what are the 13 stripes for? The original colonies. They would say like, just to break up the color, because blue and white with a bunch of white stars just kind of doesn't look right. So they had to add red or some shit. I don't know. Americans, we're not smart, typically. Just like Mexicans, we're not all dumb. Not all Mexicans are bad people. There's good people out there. A lot of white racists. There's a lot of fucked up white people, but we still allow white people to run around everywhere. What? Because America, fucking America. They just want to be American citizens. They don't want America. They want America, land of the free, where they have opportunities to do what they want. And Americans just want them to come legally, which I agree, they should come here legally. And if you come here legally, you should have all free reign in the world to do so. Half the time they fucking don't still, because they're like, you came here illegally. No, I have all my paperwork. Well, you're not American. The test asks questions like, I don't have a copy, obviously, of the test in front of me, but it's questions like, who's the 27th president of the United States? I have no idea. There are some people that will know that, but I don't. It'd be like, name all 50 states. Okay, I could probably name all 50 states. I would forget some. If I had a map, I could do it. But if I'd just name 50, I would probably forget one or two, and it'd take me a while. Then they're like, oh yeah, name the capitals of 25 of the states. Who is how many House of Representatives or how many members are in the House of Representatives? How many members are in the Senate? How old does the president have to be? Stuff that's, if you went to school and studied history, you should know. You can commonly forget. Like, I know there's 244 in the Senate, or is that Congress? See, I don't even know if it's House of Representatives. The difference between House of Representatives, the Senate, and Congress. I don't know the difference of those people. I know they have a part in the government. I'm not stupid by any means. I'm pretty smart. I don't know that shit. So you expect someone that might not even know English to know that? Like, so they're gonna have to study for 5 years and then hope that whatever they studied was on the test, and hope that they know enough English to get through the test, because it's in English. They don't give it in other languages. Okay, they give it in English. The only time it's not their language is for work visas. But again, work visas expire. I think work visas. I'm probably wrong on this. I'll look it up to be sure. I'm pretty sure work visas are only good for. I'm pretty sure they're only good for 2 years. One year. So they're allowed to get 1 year, then they have to reapply that whole time. So they're just constantly reapplying. My bad. Constantly reapplying until they can eventually become citizens. But they can't bring their family on work visas. Only the person who applies for the work visa, can come over. They can't bring their family. So you want the person, well, if they really want a better life, they're going to live up here, be away from their family. No, it's, people just frustrate me with this. Like, let them come. Well, they're killing people. We're killing each other. We got school shootings every other fucking month, every other week, half the time. Shit. We got black people killing black people killing white people killing white people killing black people, white people killing Mexicans, white people killing Asians, Mexicans killing Mexicans killing white people. Every single person in America, or every single race, not person, obviously, every single race has killed, probably, or for a fact, not probably, they have, of the same race and a different race. Killings happen all the time in America. We have a country of, what are we up to, 300 million? Is that what we're up to now? Population. 325.7 million. That was the 2017 census. That's a fuck ton of people. You're telling me those people aren't killing each other? Doesn't matter the race? Killings happen. All the time. It happens. Don't say, well, we shouldn't let them in because they'll kill us or they'll rape our children. Like, hey, Johnny fucking Sunshine and Rainbows over there with ice cream in his closet. He's a pedophile. Guess what? He lives in your neighborhood. Where's the argument for that? Well, he did his time. He changed. Okay, it's allowed. Shut up. Shut up with that. Okay. And then I think it was yesterday or today, this morning. I don't know. I have a terrible memory, people. I saw a picture. Oh, I can't believe you would separate the parents, this is in quotes, the parents from their children, and, not the children will know what happened to their parents, and the parents will know what happened to their children. And then below was a picture of military hugging their children before they left. That is not even remotely close to the same thing. Military, they are volunteering to leave. They know they're leaving. They're volunteering to join the military with the chance of being called to active duty. I can't think of the name. To go overseas or whatever. To go to different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and be part of the active military away from their families. They're volunteering for that. There's not always a chance that you're going to go overseas. There's not a chance that you're going to move and be away from your family that long. But there's a good possibility. They're volunteering for that. These immigrants are coming over, and they're being forcibly separated. That is not even remotely close to the same thing or the same scenario. And to say it is just complete ignorance. So we just figure it out, people. Be compassionate people. Like, and it's weird. The people that have the most problems with immigrants they're typically Republicans. I hate to say it. They're pretty hardcore Trump Republican type people. Obviously, there's some Democrats and other not affiliated people that don't like it either. Typically, it's Republicans. And aren't Republicans usually the ones that are like, for the Bible? Like, God knows the way. Shit like that. What happened to loving everyone like we should? Because we're human beings. Isn't that what God says? I know that's what God says because I went to church. I went to church for quite a while. I went to Catholic school. God wants us to love everyone because He created all of us. So where's the equality there? Okay. That's enough of that, though. I'm gonna get worked up and shaky. Shit. It's my day off until 4. It's not my day off. I gotta go in to cover for a little bit, but I don't want to get worked up. So we're moving on. Donald Trump, fearless leader, fearless president, done some good things for us. I suppose. I don't know. I've never said of any president until after they're finished being a president. While they're in office, I feel like they literally don't do much. Like, they do things, obviously, but it's the government that does stuff. The president is virtually a figurehead. I will judge a president on his presidency afterwards. The years to come after they are done being a president, those are what marks a good president. If the economy is stable after they leave, I mean, really, that's the big thing. That's all I care about. Wars are obviously a big thing, but economy is the biggest thing the president has to worry about besides keeping the people alive. Wars, but if we're not in wars all the time, the economy is good after their presidency. That's the mark of a good president. It's not during their presidency because there can't be a lot of change. If a president goes in saying, "I'm going to do this," tens of hundreds of things that they say they're going to do. In reality, if I wrote every single thing down that every president has ever said they're going to accomplish, 8% of that they would have accomplished. It doesn't happen because there's checks and balances in the government to make sure one man doesn't have the power. That's how America works. That's why a president is kind of just a figurehead. They got the power of the queen. Let's be honest. Like, they have the what's it called over there in England? Parliament. It's the English or British Parliament. They make the rules. The queen's just there. She's just chilling. She's just a royal family, just having a good time. The princes and princesses and duchesses or whatever the hell their name is, they're just there. They're chilling. They're having a good time. The president is the commander-in-chief. That is a big difference. So he does have a lot of control over the military. Kinda. So yes, what the president says is final. But around him, he has a board of war tacticians, whatever, Army, Navy, Air Force, all of them. They're all there to make sure he makes the right call. And if he doesn't listen to them, that's when we have problems with the president. If all of his people that he asks for help are like, hey, definitely don't attack there. That's a terrible idea. That's World War III. And he's just like, fucking let's go. Fucking let's go. That's a good way to get impeached, people. So the president is the commander-in-chief. His has the final say. I'm going to say if you look throughout history, 9 times out of 10, every army or militaristic decision made was offered up by someone smarter than him. Or, well, I can't say him because there's only been male presidents. And then he made the final call to say. It's like when your boss asks you for stuff at work. Like, hey, do you think this would be a good idea? And then the boss is like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should implement that. It's the president saying we should implement that idea that you gave me. I'll get the credit for it, though, because no one knows your name. It happens. So Trump, in all of his gloriousness, his wisdom, I love his speech he gave. I think it was 2 days ago, maybe. But just a tidbit of it was, we have the greatest military in the world. So we have the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. This is a snippet. I don't remember exactly the words. It was a while ago. We have the greatest forces in the world. We have the Navy, Army, Air Force. Now it is time for the Space Force. Because he wants spatial explorations to be us. This is like the Cold War over again. Who can reach the moon first? Except for now, we're like, we need to have control of space. Because you never know when someone's going to send a missile through space to get us. And then again, it's Trump. So he might be worried about aliens. I'm not sure. Okay? Hey, first realistic president to say there's other people out there. Or things out there. Because in this vast universe, just in this galaxy alone, this galaxy is huge. Huge. To say we're the only living life forms, ridiculous. There's got to be more out there. I'm sorry. There's got to be. There's no way there isn't. So, maybe he's worried about aliens. I don't know. To be determined. What I do know is exclusive Ruskell Gaming Podcast. God, I hope no one else has shown this, because that would be embarrassing if I said Ruskell Gaming exclusive. I have found a training video that shows exactly what the Space Force will be and exactly what they will do. So please, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is the United States Space Force. High schoolers. Bet you didn't see that coming. Holy shit, there's an alien! There it is! They're fighting each other for some reason. No, they're not. They're training. Because they're high schoolers, they need to train. Yeah, we're not going to take adults for the Space Force people. It's going to be young, athletic, agile high schoolers. That's who we want. That's who we need. Boy, howdy. It'll look good, boys and girls. It'll look good. There's our Space Force. To get away from U.S. news and things of that nature, there was a death recently, a celebrity death. Extension or Extension. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Personally, I hate his fucking music. Yeah, sorry, my bad. He just died. Be more thoughtful. Or he was just killed. He didn't just die. He was just killed. One. I'm not gonna be one to say, gone too soon. Thoughts and prayers with his family. I don't like people like that. I'll do it occasionally, so I'm a little hypocritical. But I'll do it for like people that I'm super. I won't say thoughts and prayers. I'll be like RIP to them. Because typically it would be I was a huge fan of theirs if it's a celebrity or somehow they did great things. It was before social media really took off, but Sean Taylor was killed, former safety in the NFL. I believe he played 5 years before he was killed. The dude was great. I loved watching him play. I was just a little young tyke at the time. Loved watching him play video games. I'd play with him. I'd draft him every time in the NFL. Fantasy draft him. He was just a great player. When he died, it's like, no, I can't believe it. He's so young. That one kind of hit me. I was like, hey, social media was around back then. I would have been the first to say like R.I.P. Sean Taylor, because the dude was just fun to watch. I enjoyed watching him. He was just a great player. If he hadn't have been shot, I believe he was shot. Car accident. No, he was shot. If he hadn't have died, probably could have gone down. Probably would have gone down as the greatest safety in history. He had that spectacular of a career into the short career at the time. Same thing with like Bo Jackson before he broke his hip. It was one of the greatest running backs just in that short span. 3 years, I think, and then 5 years in the MLB, if I remember right. In that short span, he already showed this guy can be the greatest. That was the same thing with Sean Taylor. This guy can be the greatest. He's just a great person, it seemed. I don't know his personal life, obviously, but everything I saw about him as a kid, whatever the news showed, it was great things. Extension or Extension. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say X. Not so much. All right. He's done a lot of questionable things in his life, and I know. Don't judge a person by their past. But how they are trying to change and what they're trying to do for the future. Take all music aside, because I think all modern day rap is terrible. So, and he falls in with that modern day rap. It's just awful music. I enjoy rap. That's not rap. That's like trap house party. Just awful. Take that aside. The things he's done in his past, I agree. Don't judge someone on their past, because that doesn't entirely determine who they are as a person. But to just blow over it now that he's dead, we can't do that. Like, he's done terrible things. We can't just blow over it because he's died, and we have to respect him. That doesn't really have to say. That's what's frustrating too about all this social media stuff. One, I hate when people are Like I said, I do it too. But hey, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers out to them. I believe it was Anthony Jeselnik said in a stand-up performance. That's basically saying, hey, look at me. I'm still here. Because it kind of is. Like, you can send thoughts and prayers with a family without typing it on social media. Like, if you personally know them and you want to like personally at them or send them a DM, be like, hey, my thoughts and prayers are with you at this time. I know a lot of people hate that after a loved one dies. They hate that. They hate being bothered like that. They just want to grieve. So unless you're really close with them, those are the ones they like. They don't like people that are like, oh, I met him one time. He was a great person. No, they don't want to be bothered with that. Now, obviously not everybody, but come on, just be respectful. You don't need to post, oh, his music inspired me to be like, hey, everybody look at me. He just died, but look at me. In my eyes, I agree with Justin Eck when he says that. So I mean, again, I'm hypocritical. I've done it before, but I just see so much of it, and then I see a ton of hate from people too, because like, oh, he raped someone, almost beat two people to death, and done all these bad things. Yeah, he did, but I mean, you don't need to spotlight that either. But the only reason they're spotlighting that is because people are coming out saying how great of a person he was, and they're like, well, he wasn't great. So if someone dies, I agree, we should respect and honor them for who they were in our eyes. But we don't have to be public about it, kind of thing. He died. It's awful. Celebs die all the time, and a lot of times they're awful, especially the young ones. I will agree with that. Even awful people, especially young ones like that, they can always turn their life around. Kobe Bryant did some terrible things. Everyone loves him. Just to say he hasn't died, but I guarantee you when he dies, there's going to be plenty of people. R.I.P. to the GOAT. There's going to be plenty of people. R.I.P. to the greatest Laker, Kobe Bryant. Then there's going to be some people. Hey, remember when you raped that person? It's always going to be people like that. When people die, especially celebrities, when normal people die, you see a lot of it. But normal people, they don't have a lot of their bad stuff out in public like that. So when normal people die, you'll see it on Facebook, Twitter, in your area. Like, hey, RIP to this person. They only remember the good things because they don't want to remember the bad things. But celebrities, the bad things will never die. What I'm trying to get at, basically, is he was killed. It sucks. He was young. No young person ever deserves to die for any reason. But let's not be so showy about it and public about it that what's up, Lightmare? That he was just a great person or he was an awful person. Don't spotlight it. If you want to say something, if you feel the need to say something, just say RIP. You don't need to bring up specifics about his life. And for God's sakes, if you're one of those people that feel the need to comment on someone that says RIP or something like that, don't. There's no need for it. Let them, if they were a fan of his, let them be a fan and enjoy his music. We don't need to be all political about every single celebrity death and spotlight the bad, spotlight the good, all that. He died, it sucks. Mourn if you need to, but then let's move on, kind of thing. That's the way with any celebrity death. Now, there's bad people. If Hitler was alive today and he died, no one would be like, he was such a good person. Even the Nazis would have been like, he was kind of a dick, But he wasn't like that kind of evil. There's a difference between that kind of evil and what X did. I'm not saying by any means, hey, don't just brush it over. It was terrible what he did, but there's different steps of evil. That kind of evil, Hitler kind of evil, yikes. We don't want to try to hey, go ahead, talk about how good he is. He did some good things for Germany. No, he was evil. There's a difference between evil and bad. We don't need to spotlight bad, okay? No one wants to be remembered when they die for the bad things they did. They want to be remembered for the good things they did. So unless they're evil, let's not spotlight that. Just saying, it's getting ridiculous. We need to try to change the format, I guess, of the process of going through things when celebrities die. We need to change that. Um, on lighter news, this I saw this crazy video just now when I was like, I need to find some stuff to talk about. This is just fantastic. Background story, I don't know. I didn't actually like read into it. Just 'cause I saw the video and I had to talk a little bit about it, or at least show the video. This is quite possibly the greatest thing I've ever seen. Scrolling through news, I see deputy in Placer County, California, breaks car window. I was like, oh, here we go again, another racist cop. But breaks car window to free a bear. Yeah, tell me I'm just not going to show that. So here we go. A deputy freeing a bear by breaking a car window. Breaks the window, takes the hell off like he should, and out goes the bear. Run away, bear, be free. Jesus. Not unlocked. Gee, that's some damage to that car. How the hell does a bear get in there? like, come on, people. like, oh, the bear got in there. They should have killed the bear or some shit. There's gonna be that, and then how does a bear get in there? And then break stuff so badly the doors can't be unlocked. Like, did someone leave their car door open? The bear jumped in, and then they took off. They shut the door. And they're like, "Fuck! There's a bear in my car. What am I supposed to do now?" I, oh God, that's just some good old news right there. That's just American news at its finest. Oh, all right. enough of that. Take a quick drink. Mountain Dew, by the way, code red. Not a sponsor. If they want to sponsor me, fuck yeah, I will gladly accept that. But Mountain Dew is the way to go. Do the do. Alright, that's enough of news. We're going to talk about the best of E3, Ruskell Gaming Podcast. Yeah, that's a valid point, Lightmare. That everything just rant on. Like they could have said some. We could have had a Harambe 2.0 with that. I don't even know. It would have. Jesus, it would have been bad. I don't know where they would have gone with it, but it would have been good. That's for sure. Um, Anywho, let's go to the best of E3, Ruskell Gaming Podcast. Got to cover some gaming. There isn't ever a lot of news in gaming, so I don't cover it a lot. But best of E3, because E3 just happened. That's like the biggest thing in the gaming world. So we're going to talk about the games. I didn't think there wasn't a lot of big things as far as content goes, as far as like Sony, Microsoft, stuff like that. It was mainly games this year. Usually there's something. Microsoft. They did hint at a new Xbox coming to keep up with the days, I guess, of technology, which is pretty standard. Sony releases a new PlayStation and Xbox, or Microsoft releases a new Xbox every 5 to 10 years. I would say they do, and it's about that time. I think the Xbox One came out in, I want to say 2013 it came out in, so we're running at 5 years. So it's about time for a new one. I would expect a release probably 2020, honestly. 2022 at the latest for a new Xbox, and that would mean a PS5 would come out as well. So be on the lookout for that. But a couple of the games that I liked at E3, I'm going to spotlight. I'm going to show a couple of them, or the main ones for me that I wanted to spotlight because I thought they looked really interesting and I'm probably going to get them. But one of the big games this year was definitely Anthem. Won a couple of the E3 awards, and it's pretty highly talked about in the gaming community right now because of the innovation. The producers behind it usually do good work. They were behind Mass Effect, and everybody loves the Mass Effect games for the most part. but Anthem is the next up and coming, probably anyway, next up and coming big game. I expect it to be a huge platform, huge gaming community will be surrounding it, especially when it releases. When did they say it was released? Initial release February 22nd, 2019. So around February 2019, there'll be no new sports games releasing that late or that early in the year technically. And typically most high profile games release in the fall. So around that time too, they're not gonna see a lot of competition unless someone wants to be ballsy and try to replace them or compete with them. But I mean, it's with how much hype is already around Anthem, I wouldn't suggest any game trying to release at around the same time. Give it a month window or so, maybe a month before. You're gonna get that initial burst and then probably calm down. But there's so much hype around Anthem that I'm probably gonna buy it come February. I'm gonna be looking for a new game to buy anyway. So why not buy Anthem? It'll look fun. It's supposed to be a giant co-op, kind of like a Destiny, a Mass Effect, uh, not really Halo because there's a whole new online concept about it. It'd be more Destiny and what would be another good comparison? Kind of the Division, somewhat like that. Would be the best comparisons I could think of. But yeah, there's a lot of hype around that. It looks like a good game. Naturally, Kingdom Hearts 3, they previewed. Kingdom Hearts games are always huge. The whole concept behind it with the Disney characters and other characters, mainly Disney anyway. It's a good, any age can play it because of the action in it. It's fun. I enjoyed the Kingdom Hearts games. I never actually owned them, but I demoed them a lot. They're pretty damn popular, especially with younger groups, for things like the Nintendo DS, and it's big in the Wii now. With Kingdom Hearts 2, I think was the Wii release. It's a big game. It's going to be big. It should be successful as always with any of the Kingdom Hearts games. I don't think it's going to overrun any other game, but it's going to have its fans. It's going to do well. Another one would be Spider-Man for I believe it's a PlayStation exclusive game. I think Sony has the rights to those because Sony's released every single Spider-Man game up to this point anyway. That looks good. Honestly, it looks like the best Spider-Man game to date, and I've played all the Spider-Man games since the original for the PlayStation, where the dude Spider-Man didn't have fingers. Everybody had just fists and just poor ass graphics, just awful. I've been playing them since then. This looks like the cleanest, the best mechanically. The graphics are amazing, just like any other game released nowadays. The graphics are phenomenal. It looks good. If you're a fan of Spider-Man games or any kind of superhero type game, and you own a PlayStation, it would be a game to look at. When does it release? September. So I don't know how much crossover there's going to be between brands, but or not brands, because that would suggest cross-platform. It's a Sony exclusive. The thing is, a game that I'm going to talk about, so I'll wait until I get to that, is releasing right around the same time. So I don't know how popular Spider-Man is going to be if the same players of this game will play Spider-Man and the players of the other game. But it should do all right. The kids will buy it anyway. The parents of smaller kids will buy it. It'll have a big enough fan base around it to do well. I'm not really sure how the other Spider-Man games did in terms of sales, but I can't foresee it being terrible. So we got that. Another one I'm not excited about because I'm not a fan of it didn't look that great to me, and I'm not a fan of the game type. But Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of hype around that. I hear a lot of people talking about that. I see a lot of people talking about it on different esports communities and stuff like that. It looks big. It should do all right. or better than all right. It should be pretty damn huge, honestly. The way, the height that it's around, it's on all platforms that they have a release date. Do they already play on? I don't see a release date at all, but I'm guessing it'll be 2 years from now. It was released announced in 2012. That's why they're just now releasing it then. Because this is the first, yeah, this is the first actual game play. I don't know. It's got hype though. It should be successful. Of all the games that I covered, I don't think it'll be as big as Anthem, and I don't think it'll be as big as the next 4 games that I say. But it'll be up there with the average games. It'll probably be a top hit for that month, or for 2 weeks. It'll be up there, and then it'll probably fall off, honestly. But it should be a popular game. Look out for that. The games that I'm most interested in, number 1 being this game right here. This is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Love the Assassin's Creed games. Love them.
How can a child save us all?
I'll just...
If he's sentenced to die. Tell me, Nicholas. Tell me before you let our son go.
Great graphics. Cussing
Where
usually
we
better,
begin does not define who we will become. Before you, I see a path. Built by friendship and family, love and loss, war and bloodshed.
You were sent by the gods to protect this world.
You carry the blade of Leonidas. Act like it. As you write your odyssey across the mountains and the seas, remember, the fate of Greece journeys with you.
Yes, really awesome trailer from Assassin's Creed.
Just a dope trailer. Dope trailer. Honestly, I've enjoyed every Assassin's Creed game I've played. I know that's got a huge following. I don't hear a lot of complaints. The storyline can kind of get boring. If you're a fan of Greek mythology, which a lot of people are, if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, this is the game for you. I'm hyped, personally. I actually haven't bought a Assassin's Creed game since 3 or 4. Brotherhood was the last one I actually bought, but I played all of them, and they're all amazing. I just didn't have the money to buy the other ones. I'm for sure buying this one. Set to release sometime in 2019. I would say probably the summer of 2019. So, hold on. Okay, yeah. I would say the summer of 2019. be looking for it on the shelves because I know I will be, and I know I will be buying it the instant I see it. Moving on, the next game is another game of mine, personal favorite. I do buy this one every single year. That should tell you what kind of game it is. Every single year I've bought it since 2005, I believe, was the first time that the company took over from 2K. I believe 2K kept making it until 2007, but EA took the game over from there and made it their own, took over everything about the game, and made it the to-buy game for the sports franchise. This is a game that I'm super hyped about. Can't wait. Been waiting for it for about 4 months now. I've been excited. I've been playing the old one. Still, I just can't wait for the new one, especially with my team, the Packers. I want to take them to a Super Bowl because they look good this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Madden 19 trailer. Let's go. Saquon Barkley, baby.
Get to moments like these.
Top selling jersey in the NFL now.
To the very top of the mountain. You battle through the pain and failure. All just to get to this place where you've been told legends are born. You fall so you can rise. And you rise so that you can truly see. See that it was really never about reaching the end of the road at all. But about all the moments that got you here.
Baker's not gonna play. First start.
So
Burkett's not gonna play. Jesus.
Would you let the moment define you? Or will you define the moment?
Oh. Hell yeah. Madden, baby. I'm excited. I'm excited. August 10th, if you pre-order it, you're going to play it August 7th. I'm personally going to pre-order the Hall of Fame edition because I fucking love Madden. And I don't care to spend an extra few bucks. I love Madden. Like I said, I've been playing it since it first was around. Yeah, I didn't really like I liked the 2K NFL, but it's not as good as EA. This is the second year with Frostbite as its engine. And, I mean, they do great work. Frostbite is amazing for sports games. They're so smooth, and they've had a year to perfect it, so I expect just mechanically great things. They released some details. What's it called? Long Shot. Long Shot will be back for you Madden fans. You actually get to play with them in the professional scene if you played the last one. Instead of just cutting at high school, it's full on Devin and Colt again. The gameplay mechanics are improved as always. There's supposed to be a new emphasis on zone. Last game, Madden 18, was if you ran man defense, that was the defense to run. Now you're going to want to run zone, I've seen. What else? They added positions, or they're going to add positions, I saw. So, like, they're not creating a whole new football game, but instead of wide receiver 1 and then the depth chart, apparently there's supposed to be a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, slot receiver. So you can actually have someone specifically meant for the slot in the slot instead of just putting them at the wide receiver 3 and every now and then not be in the slot and be outside. Same thing with nickel corner, dime corner, down safety, box safety, up high safety, stuff like that. So as a football fan, I'm excited because I always spend, every time I start a new franchise, I spend probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes making sure I have players in the positions I want them to play. Instead of just cornerback 3, I have to go through each formation and put them where I want them to go. So being able to just say, hey, you're the down safety now, or you're the slot receiver, that's perfect. I love it. Makes it easier for me, makes it more user-friendly for me, and I know a lot of people will be happy about that. I'll be getting that game for sure. So from that time until September, I'll be pretty much religiously playing Madden, and then Dota, of course, because I can't stop playing Dota. But Madden will be my game on Xbox. I'll be streaming a lot of Madden. I don't know if I'll do a lot of online. I'll play Ultimate Team for probably that first few weeks for sure. But after that, I usually get to the point where my team's already good and I don't want to consistently stay with all the specialties. So I fall off Ultimate Team. But I'll always play franchise, play the long shot, stuff like that, until Madden 20 comes out. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. The next game would be a huge game. This is probably second biggest to me because the next game I'll say is the biggest to me because I'm such a fan. But Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I couldn't find a video besides showing the characters. I couldn't find an actual gameplay trailer or anything. Every character to ever be in a Super Smash Brothers game will be in this one. So there's 40 some characters maybe now. 47, maybe more. Every single one. New arenas, brand new arenas made, brand new online, everything. This is going to be the biggest Smash Brothers, and Smash Brothers is probably arguably one of the biggest franchises, especially for a Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't really have. I mean, they got Mario, but they don't keep up with that. Super Smash Bros. Is going to be huge. I am considering buying some sort of Nintendo, maybe the Wii or. Do I have a Wii still? I think I even have a Wii. I just got to get that thing working again, and I'll be buying Super Smash Bros. Probably because that thing is dope. I love Super Smash Bros. This looks amazing. I'm hyped. If I can't find my Wii or buy one, I better believe I'm gonna be finding some way to get it, or some way to borrow it from someone. Let's see if they're not releasing it on other platforms, I assume. Yeah, just Nintendo. Nintendo Switch is the platform they're releasing it, so that they show it on the Wii. If they just do Switch, that's kind of bogus. I hope they. Is it just for the Switch? I don't want to buy a Switch. Like, that's cool. I don't really want to buy a Switch. I mean, I will. How expensive are those? $200. I don't know about that. Just the Switch, huh? Yeesh. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. that's really putting me off here. I'm just gonna move on from that one. The last biggest thing for me from E3 2018. It's big in my group of friends. This game is. People are complaining that they're gonna have to spend extra money for technically a DLC. You're not. You're getting virtually a whole nother game with 3 exclusive season DLC, whatever. So it's virtually a whole nother game for cheaper than a game. It's starting at $40, I believe, and a game starts at $63.99, whatever, with tax, depending on the state you're in. Here in Iowa, it's $63.99, I think, after tax. Maybe 64 up now, but $60. So you're buying a whole new game for $40. Buy the season pass for $70, I want to say. Could be wrong on that one, but I'm talking Destiny 2, people. Destiny 2 Forsaken. It was supposed to be, I think, it's the 3rd DLC, technically. Everyone's, why isn't it on the season pass? Because it's a new season. It doesn't come out until September. The game will have been out for a year, so it's a whole new season, technically. So that's why it's different. But this is the biggest and best I've ever seen of Destiny. Honestly, it's just, I might show more. Some of the other stuff we'll see. But for right now, let's just watch the trailer. Destiny 2 Forsaken. This is why the Spider-Man comes in. Spider-Man comes out September 7th. Destiny 2 Forsaken, September 2nd. September 2nd, I am taking a week off from work because I'm going to be playing Destiny 2 because it looks amazing. So good. Sorry, Spider-Man. I don't have a PlayStation anyway, so I wasn't going to buy you. But you might have some hurt sales here because everyone's bitching that they won't buy it. You're going to buy it. You're going to buy it. You're spending $130 over 2 years worth of gaming. That's 2 games worth. You don't buy 2 games in a span of 2 years, or a year at least, and then you're gonna have a year of playing of Forsaken. There's gonna be a year worth of content. So 2 years, you're not gonna buy 2 different games. Come on, get out of here with that. This is the trailer for Forsaken. Cade 6, baby.
A lonesome star in a bitter sky. I hear the hungry ghosts calling out in the night. Just a couple victims of this brutal prize. Am I strong enough to let things just die? Just to keep the spark alive. But if there's nothing on the other side, why can't I leave well enough alone and go to the light?
September 4th? That was 2nd. Anyway, if that doesn't fucking get you hyped, watching Cade get murked by that douchey ass prince, I don't know what will. You're not a fan of Destiny then, alright? I don't know if they actually kill him off. Can you kill off Cade? Probably one of the favorites of the Destiny franchise, one of the favorite characters. Can you kill him off? I think they did. That's the rumor. And I've heard confirmation. Okay? Fuck, that gets me juiced up. You do not kill Cade without repercussions, man. Ugh. It's going down. September 4th, apparently. I thought it was the 2nd. So I gotta wait 2 more days. But damn it, when that day comes, it is going down. And it'll be great. You know what? That got me hyped. We're gonna watch a little more of the Forsaken.
We have this opportunity we wouldn't have had years ago to ship a game and then really collaborate with people outside the studio to figure out, like, what is the best version of that?
Honestly, yeah, like we're building something the community has been asking for, and it's accumulation of everything that we believe the game needs to be.
The upside to that is we're not holding anything back.
All the feedback we've heard for the last year is, this is it. It's in Forsaken.
Boom, it's go time.
We want this release to have a different tone and a different vibe.
We sort of just embrace that Western revenge vibe.
You're going to go to a darker place. You're going to take on a different role as a Guardian.
I'm loving the Spurs, honestly. The Spurs
barren landscape with like the asteroid vibe with like tumbleweeds, and I mean that just sounded cool.
Grit, man. Want to bring the dirt back.
And what better way to start a story than to start it with a prison break?
Right.
Cade's been filling this prison with bad guys that are really bad, and so when it breaks, things can happen to all the world.
first place you're going to go to is the Tangled Shore, which is a new part of the reef that you've never seen before.
The reef is in Destiny 1 if you remember.
It's a collection of lashed together asteroids and rocks out in the asteroid
It's
belt.
very otherworldly, and it's full of
pirates and assassins and
bad guys.
It's become
New
a lawless
baddies, no more
place.
fallen.
Truly is a frontier. It's completely taken over.
Taking all that bullshit.
The
We got
most
pirates and
malevolent
open
force there
babies.
is the Scorn. They're
And the
very
Scorn.
aggressive. They're always going to charge and push you.
The Barons are the top dogs in the Scorn, and each one has gone back and committed nefarious crimes.
I think of it as the reverse Magnificent Seven, like the worst of the worst criminals. You are hunting down these different Barons. In fact, they're called Baron hunts. So one Baron is a sniper, and you have a sniper versus sniper battle with them. Another Baron is this big, giant, hulking melee character.
One of the things we're most excited about is the new weapon system.
Hey, if you like Destiny 2,
Pay attention.
Great. Play that way. But if you like Destiny 1, great. Play that way. But if you're crazy, why not 3 shotguns, right? Just for the fun.
We need to have as many ways as possible, and then we need to have people fighting about it. Like, no, man, you f***ed up. You're taking the wrong weapons, or can I say?
3 shotguns, baby. Short range, long range, medium.
So
That's the game.
randomables are coming back. Every single weapon is going to feel different when it drops. And we're improving the mod system, so you can customize your weapon the way you want it.
That's what they said last one. They didn't really do it, so I'm kind of upset about that.
We've
but
got a
I'm looking
whole
forward to
new
it.
masterwork style
Hopefully they
system
do.
coming together where you actually are able to kind of move your levels up over time. And so there's investment back on the weapons again.
That's good, because the Masterwork system is kind of broken right now. There should be more to it, but
New
this
supers,
is what I'm excited
pretty
about.
crazy.
Right
What's
here.
your favorite? Fire knives are awesome, which is a different take on Golden Gun.
We took a lot of inspiration from Rise of Iron. Cast that thing. You got a huge hammer now, and you slam that thing down, and it sends out this fire in front of you that then creates a fire tornado. We got to take it to the next level, you know?
The idea that anyone
There
who
goes my
plays,
favorite.
however they play it, they're going to have some new way to
Model
engage.
my beard after him.
I'm in love with the new Void Warlock teleportation that's like super anime, just like choo, 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 pa-pa.
We've been having great games with the Arc Warlock.
Basically cast this thing, he pulls back. Yeah, and it's gonna break the game, and I think that's amazing. Yeah, you know?
Come on, like, oh, motherfucker.
We also wanted a
This,
new weapon
dude.
type that felt meaningful, so
oh.
we came up with a bow and arrow, which seems
Bow,
kind of
baby.
crazy,
I'm gonna
but when
use
you
that
use
shit
it,
all the
You
time.
feel like godlike.
Fuck 3 shotguns, I'm
utilitarian, it's
using a bow.
fantastical, it's
Because I like
also
the challenge,
sci-fi.
and it's
So we have
awesome.
a short
I'm
range
a
bow, we have
hunter.
a medium range bow, we have a long range bow. But we built this guy, which is supposed to be super techy.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
You're like, why would you ever choose a bow in a game that has an automatic, machine gun? But boy, it's deadly.
I mean, that's a nice machine gun you got there, buddy, but right, and then it's done.
Got it.
The biggest thing for me going into production on this game was like a new way to play, a new thing to do that is new to Destiny.
Let's see what we've got.
We want to be able to give players what they want, but
Gambit.
also surprise them.
Gambit is a brand new mode.
Destiny begs to marry PvE and PvP together.
It's like adding bacon to peanut butter and jelly.
I don't know
You
about that
start
one either.
off being able to see the other team that you're going to compete against, so you can taunt each other, you can emote.
Each team is in their own separate arena, and they're being assaulted by combatants.
They're dropping motes for you to collect, you bank them.
When you put them in your bank, you're going to send a blocker over the other side. That locks their bank down. They can't put motes into it until they take out that blocker. Filling up your bank with the motes is how you summon your primeval. You burn it down, that's it. Round's over. The interesting part is that we allow one person from your team to go over to the other side and physically invade. I mean, I've seen people that just hate PvP. Like, the first time they invade and they get multiple kills, they'll come back and they'll be like, suck it! It's awesome.
I've played a game like this in was it Warcraft 3. It was Hero Wars
leave the raid team alone.
Split.
I mean, if you can't tell, we just kind of let them do their
great,
own thing.
though.
But
We have Joe
everyone will.
over there.
Let me
for
pause this quick because this next part's the raid. It's a great game type, honestly. It's everything you love about PvE with waves of forces to kill, just murking down enemies, big bosses. Then you got to send other things. I guarantee it'll be way different than what the trailer says. There'll be a lot of improvements, a lot of different things added. But the jumping to the other side, you will. It sounds like why would one guy want to jump across to face 4 people? Because they're busy with their own stuff. Remember, so you can run over there with a sword and slice through everyone, fuck them all up, and get the fuck out of there, and then go help your team win. It'll be fun, honestly. All the Crucible haters, this is for you guys. Like one of my buddies that I play the game with all the time, he hates Crucible, refuses to do it at any time besides getting the token or the Ingram. He's gonna love this, I'm pretty sure, because it's a whole new competitive, just on your edge kind of fire. And I personally am so excited, and everyone else should be too, because this is gonna be great.
That's right, we wanted to get back to the epic adventure where you're going out to slay a big monster again. This raid has more bosses than any raid we've ever had before, and we're really excited to get players in there.
The raid is actually about more than just the raid. It's about the Dreaming City, the place that the raid exists. And it's an in-game destination that we've never done before.
Is the awoken homeland.
I could talk about the Dreaming City for hours. It's like if the Vault of Glass and Dreadnought had a baby.
If they were like twins.
Or yeah, that's actually more accurate.
Yeah, they're like twins.
It's like you had twins, and then you took those twins and you put them on the doorstep of Peter Jackson, raised them as his own, and then that's the Dreaming City.
It is magical and weird and mysterious.
It's designed to be a destination that has puzzles that you need to solve.
A lot of hidden corners, lots of passageways that might not seem to exist the first time.
And the raiders, they affect this destination. They change it for everyone.
It's like this cyclical endgame place where there's just secrets and different activities that unveil over time.
So the Dreaming City that you see at launch is not going to be the same Dreaming City 2-3 weeks later.
No more guys I just raided with last night. No more.
So with
knowing exactly where to go and leave with us news
First thing we
behind.
ask is, how will the community react to this?
Players want their investment in Destiny to matter, and they want to be able to see that
There's the
reflected
bow.
in the content.
We knew we wanted to do something for the collectors in our game. So we built a feature called the Collections. It's a way for you to track all the items that you can go out and acquire.
There's so
This
much
is handy
here in our
because
game.
I'm
There are
always
2,000
curious if
items
I
you can
have
get.
every exotic.
Go
I'm
get
pretty
them.
sure I do have
You can
exotic.
look at sets.
I
and
might
you
be
can
missing
say,
one though.
I haven't
so.
filled out this set. What do I have to do to go get it?
If I want to find like how many guns in the world, I can actually go look now.
We also had a triumphs thing, which is just acknowledging your achievement.
It like ties into records, it ties into lore.
It's a thing that can help you drive, like, hey, I want to do that. And if I do those things, I can get a title. Like, I can have a title floating over my name that says that I'm a god or whatever. Not me, but like you.
Modest.
We want Forsaken to feel like a game that never ends, so we're going to reinforce the hobby and make the experience something that can be played night over night.
We're changing the weapon slots. We're changing how the pursuits work. We're adding new
That was the
features
3
like the
shotgun.
collections
Just
and
stop.
triumphs.
You only use 2 of them,
Building
but if you look at the bottom, there's 3.
We've got a whole
Let's
bunch
just-
of new
yeah,
weapons
let's
to
just-
be played night over
Ready?
night.
We're changing the weapons.
Oh, fuck, get out of here. Let's look. There's the kinetic one. Come on, move. Move! Alright, it's not gonna move, but kinetic, energy, power weapon.
Slots. We're changing
All
how the
different
pursuits work.
ammos, too.
We're
That's
adding
one
new
thing I was
features like
worried
the
about.
collections and
Games
triumphs.
like
We built
Fortnite,
ammo.
you have 3 different guns, that they're all the
We've
same
got
ammo
a whole
type,
bunch
you
of
have
new
that
weapons
ammo.
to chase,
Different
exotics
ammo
that are really
still.
powerful.
We have Lisa focusing on some sweet new exotic armor. Maybe we got overboard, like dialed it too high.
No such thing. We want you to dial it too
Or to go
high.
out there and collect in the world. Exotic armor pieces to go out there and hunt.
We're
Yeah,
working
that's
on
Fucking
armor
Titan.
perks, random
If I
rolls,
see a Titan
mod
with a bow, I'll
system,
slap
new
him.
subclass pass.
It's for hunters, maybe warlocks,
We're
ranger
making
men.
Forsaken for people who love
God, that looks dope.
Making a game that we can all love. That is the goal. That's what we're going to constantly be pushing towards, always.
Everything we're building is through that lens.
Woo! Be hyped. Be hyped. Okay? Because that'll be great. Oh, September 4th, it'll be glorious. I'm so excited. All my
that just
friends better
sounded
be
cool.
excited
Grit.
too. God damn it. I don't wanna- All my friends better be excited. Everybody better be excited. It's going to be great. And I'm going to love it. And it's going to be great. I can't say it enough. It's going to be great. that being said, let's move on to sports. More sports, I should say. Wait, no, that was just E3 covered. Let's move on to sports now. Starting with E3. Fuck, not E3. God. Oh, just ruining this whole podcast right now. I tell you what. I need someone with me. Doing this by myself, it's strenuous, alright? Gotta try to fill the void. What if someone's here, I can just have back and forth with them the entire time. If I'm by myself, I'm like starting to fucking look crazy. Have a conversation with myself. What? That's weird as shit. Who wants to say that? I apologize too. I'm at an hour 10. Everyone's like, "Oh, your podcasts are so long. I don't want to watch them." Don't watch them all at once. You know, I watched the Joe Rogan Experience. Shout out to Joe Rogan Experience, greatest podcast I've ever seen. I strive to be even half of that. Okay, Joe Rogan Experience is the greatest podcast. His are like 3 hours long, but he's talking with someone, so there's never really dull time. They talk and they just go and go and go and go and go and go. Listen to it for hours. I've seen every episode practically. But I mean, I'll watch a little here, then a little there. I'll watch them in like 45-minute increments. But I still see the whole thing. If you don't want to watch a whole hour and a half, 2 hours of my podcast, whatever this will end up being, don't. Just watch a little bit. Find what you want to hear about, because I tell you at the beginning of the episode what I'm going to talk about in order. So find that thing and listen to it. If you don't want to listen to any of it, you know, at least click on the video, let it play for a little bit so I have a viewer, and, you know, make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can do that. Anyway, sports. Talking about the esports scene here, just a couple pointers. I don't have anything to show right now. The first inaugural Overwatch League season has wrapped up. I think last week. Like this weekend, maybe. Anyway, first league season's done. Biggest news out of that, the Shanghai Dragons. No, just kidding. They went 0-40. As a team. Yeah. You make the Cleveland Browns look fucking good, Shanghai Dragons. Jeez, 0-40? You couldn't squeak out one win? Come on. What are you doing? Figure it out. 0-40. Jesus. That's Overwatch League is so good. You had a team go 0-40. How competitive can it be? Other news. Ninja, probably the top streamer. He probably has I think he's the highest paid streamer, so I would assume that means he has the most viewers. He officially signed with Red Bull Sports, or Red Bull Esports, Red Bull, their esports team, for Fortnite. I don't think he's playing any other games with them. I think it's just Fortnite. And there's a Fortnite event coming on end of July that Ninja and Red Bull are hosting. Event's already sold out. So that shows how big Fortnite has become in the short span that it's been around. I think it came out a year ago, maybe? No, a year ago. It only came out like 6 months ago. July 25th, 2017. So yeah, it came out a year ago next month. So in a year, it has become one of the highest played games. It's still not a Dota type game where it's the highest prize pool for games. Dota, if you want to play professional games, get into Dota if you can, because you will make the most money if you are good. But Fortnite, as far as a customer base and community base, Fortnite is arguably one of the biggest games. They cross-platform, which is something people beg for in any game, because I have friends that play PlayStation. I want to play with them. I don't want to have to buy a PlayStation. I don't want to have to make them buy an Xbox. I have my Xbox. I have my PC. I want them to be able to play with me, though. Now we can all play together because of cross-platforming. And that's something that people have been yearning for. And Fortnite does it right. I enjoy Fortnite. It's not one of my go-to games, but I will definitely play it because it is fun. And a lot of people find it fun. It is very enjoyable to the masses to even watch, especially someone like Ninja. If you watch him play, you're just like, damn, someone can do this? He's good. Yeah, there's keep climbing Fortnite. Waiting for Fortnite 2. It'll be the same exact game probably, but they'll probably actually, honestly, I hope they never make a Fortnite 2. I hope they just have Fortnite for 10 years and just always change it so it's always Fortnite. That would be great. Last thing in esports, Dota 2 right now, I was just talking about the biggest prize pool in esports. They're prepping, they're doing the groups or the qualifying rounds for the international tournament. So if you're a fan of MOBAs or just want to watch a bunch of 18, 16 to 22-year-olds typically get filthy stinking rich in a weekend, watch the international tournament. The prize pool, what's the prize pool up to? Last year it was 26 million was the prize pool, so the winners got like 7, something like that. Prize pool tracker for right now, we're at 14 million, and that isn't even last year was 24 million, not 26. That's not even including around sometime in the next month they're going to be releasing more content, and right now we're right on track with the rest of them, not last year, but coming in the next month or so they should be releasing more treasures and release another bundle that people are just going to fucking throw money at. So expect a big spike. I expect it personally to get up to 25 million at least prize pool. So that's a massive prize pool. Imagine winning, because I think the winning team gets a quarter of that. Winning team got 7 million last year, I think. So like a third of it. So 25 million. Imagine getting, I don't know what a third is. I'm stupid, but 8. Imagine it, 8, 9 million in a week. I mean, obviously there's a lot of practice that goes into it. Esports is a big thing. You got to practice day in, day out, especially team games. But fuck, even in a fucking year together, because most of these teams change in a year. You're telling me you don't want to earn 8 million in a year, split 6 to 7 ways? You're making $1 million in a year. I'm taking that any day I can. What do you mean? That's the last thing for esports. Now let's talk about actual sports. Just kidding, not actual sports. Esports is actual sports. We're talking about sports, as referred to as from the common man, not electronic, physical, get up out of your seat type sports. With the LeBron watch, where is LeBron going? It's pretty much the only thing people can talk about nowadays, because that's the only thing happening. This time of year, it's very dead. You have baseball. That's it. Got baseball. And then off, I think WNBA, which they don't even televise half the time, so how are you supposed to watch that? College World Series is dying, but you have MLB, almost the All-Star game. That's pretty much the only news in sports, is the All-Star game. So, what do we talk about? We talk about LeBron. Where do I think LeBron is going? That's a good question. I think the Lakers make sense, personally, because one, LeBron does live in LA. You hear people say it all the time. 2, no one wants to go to the fucking Clippers. That's for damn sure. But 3, the Lakers, if you look at their team, if they can, everyone's saying LeBron has a super team, or needs a super team, or wants a super team, which he should. If Golden State can keep their entire roster how it is, maybe lose 1 or 2 guys, as long as it's not their starting 5, they're probably going to win again next year, because virtually 5 All-Stars. Andre Iguodala being the 5th, by the way. They're probably going to win next year. So what do you have to do? You have to make a super team. You're not going to beat them unless you make a super team. Why did Jordan go 6-0 in the finals? Because no one had a super team. They got the bad boys. They were not a super team anymore. You had the Larry Bird Celtics, Magic Johnson Lakers. Those were no longer super teams. They were, and guess what? They dominated. Lakers and Celtics just kept throwing the Pistons there because they were the super teams. 2 of those 3 teams were probably making the finals every year. Lakers were winning the West. Pistons or Celtics, they're going back and forth kind of. The super teams win, especially in the NBA when coaches don't really matter. They matter, but Bill Belichick is going to possibly go to the Super Bowl every year because he's the greatest coach in history of NFL. Arguably, you could say some other people. I'm saying Bill Belichick. I'm not even a Patriots fan. Coaches don't really matter in the NBA. You're players, 5 players at a time, and everything's going so fast. You call plays and you practice plays, but the people on the court are the ones running it. Coaches don't really matter. The players do. So build a super team. The Lakers, they don't have a super team. You have LeBron James, still no super team. What they do have is a very young core that I like. And I hate Lakers because I hate Lakers fans. No offense, Lakers fans. I hate you. Not all of you. You're like Cowboys fans. You're like Nebraska Cornhusker fans. Every year is your year, and you guys can't do anything wrong until you do something wrong, and they're like, "Well, fucking, yeah, you'll see. You'll see. They know what they're doing." Scott Frost, Jerry Jones, Tony Romo. Hate Lakers fans. But their young core is good. You put LeBron there, Kawhi Leonard's looking for a new home. Paul George is probably looking for a new home. Who else you got? There's a lot of free agents this year. So their team right now, Lonzo Ball, KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, is good. Everyone sleeps on him. You got Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Julius Randle played like Julius Randle should have been playing this whole time this year. Played amazing this year. You got, I don't know, Gary Brook Lopez, man. But, I mean, Lonzo Ball, KCP, and you can put on Brandon Ingram, at the guard position. So there's 3 guards for you. KCP, he's not really a point. Lonzo Ball, he's not going to be a starting point guard, not going to be a star point guard. He's a good bench point guard. He's going to come off, run the offense for you, put up good numbers all around. KCP can do a lot defensively, good offensively. Brandon Ingram, good all the way around. Kyle Kuzma, good all the way around. Julius Randle, good all the way around. Brook Lopez, good decent interior defender. I'm not even going to say good. But he'll score for you on the inside. So he's a good center to have. He's smart. LeBron James, you add that to that. So right now, they have Isaiah Thomas too. He's hurt. I don't know if he's ever going to be the same. I'm not a fan of Isaiah Thomas. He's all right. So in my mind right now, you're looking at Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, or Brandon Ingram, whoever, playing the 2. Then Brandon Ingram or Kyle Kuzma, whoever, those 2 are going to interchange. You're looking at a very tall ass lineup just there alone, okay? Because Brandon Ingram's 6'9", Kyle Kuzma's 6'9", Lonzo Ball's 6'6". It's tall. Granted, most people in the NBA are tall now, but that's huge. That's a huge lineup, huge athletic lineup. Then you throw Julius Randle for a smaller center, or Brook Lopez for the starting center, and then you got LeBron at the 4. Maybe put him at the 3. Brandon Ingram at the 4. Kyle Kuzma at the 4. You can interchange LeBron, Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram. They can play those 3 positions good. LeBron will play anything. Brandon Ingram will play anything but center. He's still too thin for center. Kuzma, I don't want playing point guard or center either. But LeBron will play center for you if you need him. You got Julius Randle back there still. So you add a starting point guard. I think Drew Holiday is a free agent this year, maybe. Current NBA. Oh, let's look up free agents real quick. Obviously, LeBron, KD. Chris Paul's a free agent. He's not going to go to the Lakers, though. Tyreek Evans. He's a shooting guard, but he could play point if you really need to. Zach LaVine could play point. Elfrid Payton is a solid point guard. Everyone hates him for some reason because he's so small and he's kind of got an attitude. He's a solid point guard. Him and Lonzo could go split games even. It's not a bad play. Marcus Smart is a beast. Everyone sleeps on Marcus Smart. Rondo. Austin Rivers could do something for you at point. He's not the greatest. You could always just draft a point guard. They have what for the pick? What pick do they have? That's love clicking on something and it doesn't show what I want. Lakers. What the fuck pick do they have? Huh? They now have a pick on the first one? They have the 25th pick. 25th pick and the 39th or something they just traded for 2 later picks or something like that. 25th pick. Damn, they don't have another pick than that. Outside of the lottery, you're never gonna. I mean, you can find people, but typically you don't. Mitchell Robinson is who they have been picking, a center. Whatever. It would be bad for him. If he falls, they could be looking at Aaron Holiday from UCLA. He's not bad. You could always get someone from Europe. There's usually some good people in Europe that you can get out of nowhere. Colin Sexton's never going to fall out of the lottery at the Alabama point guard. Jalen Brunson, he's got a lot of hype around him. He was Villanova's point guard. They got him going in the second round here on NBADraft.net. He wouldn't be a little bad little point guard to get because you don't need IT anymore, honestly. But yeah, I mean, there's options there for the Lakers to get them. So I could see them going to Lakers. Do they get Paul George? Do they get Kawhi Leonard? If they get Kawhi Leonard, holy shit. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Kuzma as a 6-man. Brandon Ingram playing anywhere. Fuck, put LeBron James at center. Everyone worries about him being defensively. Put him on a big man. Let him just relax. Put him at the center. Let him run the floor as a point center. Who are you going to have? You can't play a center then because you're going to be so athletic. Who's he going to cover? He's going to get burned or just leave wide open threes for someone. Kawhi Leonard. So we'll start at the top again. Lonzo Ball. Fuck. Put. It doesn't matter who your 2 guard is. Fucking put some garbage dude there. It doesn't even matter. Any 2. Put KCP there. Put him in the starter. Fuck it. Okay. Then you got Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma as your 6-man off the bench. Brandon Ingram as a small forward or a power forward. Or the 4 forward. They wouldn't even be a power forward. The other one being Kawhi Leonard. Switch those 2. Don't even care which way you put them. LeBron at the center. You're not stopping that center 5. Then you got Brook Lopez, Julius Randle coming off the bench. Kyle Kuzma coming off the bench. That's nasty. As long as Luke Walton doesn't fucking suck and do something stupid, that's a nasty lineup. They don't even need Paul George anymore. What are you going to do with Paul George? That's not even enough playing time. Well, get rid of Julius Randle. Why would you get rid of a young Julius Randle when he finally is playing like he should? That's stupid. For Paul George, kind of okay. That's a lot of money, though. That's not going to be consistent. That's a lot of money you're spending. Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Paul George, that's a lot of money. Julius Randle isn't going to ask as much money. Think about it. Other teams, they're saying the Celtics. The Celtics, what they need to do, not worry about trying to get LeBron. I don't think they should even go after LeBron. What they need to do, where the hell's their... They need to trade Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, or just get rid of them. It's a lot of cap space they're eating. Ideally, you trade them. Maybe you get a little draft pick or 2 draft picks. Maybe you get a center. They can really use a center. Okay, let's look at this one. At the guard position, I'm sure it's coming up. At the guard position, you got Terry Rozier and Marcus Smart. Dominating. Great point guards. They can split time. They have Shane Larkin behind him still. Shane Larkin is nothing spectacular by any means, but if anyone would need a break, he can give you 6 minutes and not fuck up the game. At the 2 guard position, Jaylen Brown can play the 2 guard. Obviously, you can have Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier on the floor at the same time. Jabari Bird for the 2 guard. Fucking draft someone, pick someone up just to play the 2 guard position. you're fine. You don't need Kyrie there because either way, you're going to have Terry Rozier and Marcus Smart playing the 2 guard, right? With Kyrie there. So either way, you need a 2 guard. Forwards, you got Jason Tatum, obviously. Jaylen Brown can play the forward. Marcus Morris is the 4-man. He's a good off the bench. I don't think he should be a starter because you got Al Horford as a starter. That's why you need a center, because their centers are Aaron Baines. Fuck him. He's good for like 10 minutes. Give him 10. That's really all they got for centers. Him and Horford. Greg Monroe. So they got Monroe for the 4 and 5. Horford can play the 5. He can play the forward. Personally, I like him at the 4 better. So you pick up Clint Capella. He's a free agent. Pick up Clint Capella. There's your dominant dude. You let him play 40 minutes. Aaron Baines gets 8 minutes. Greg Monroe can fill in there too if Capella really needs a break. Got Al Horford. Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. Solid. Someone's going to come off the bench probably for Al Horford. I mean, you could work it. So say Terry Rozier, because Marcus Smart's better defensively. Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Clint Capella, dominating 5. Then you'd have Marcus Smart coming off the bench, Jabari Bird coming off the bench, Greg Monroe coming off the bench. You're looking at a solid line. They don't need LeBron. They need to get rid of Kyrie, not Kawhi, Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, pick up a 2 guard and a center, and maybe a backup forward. I mean, you got 2 guys people are going to want to trade forward. So you can pick up one of those positions, maybe 2 of those positions, and draft someone this year. Get a draft pick, try to draft someone. You'll be all right. They don't need LeBron. Don't go for LeBron. Just do what I'm telling you. Trust me. Brad Stevens, you're smart. All right, you're smart. You got one of the greatest GMs right now too. They'll figure it out. But the Celtics don't need LeBron. They're good, and LeBron doesn't like playing with young guys really. So out. The other team, 76ers. Again, LeBron doesn't like playing with young guys. And who do they got? Young guys. Lots and lots of young guys. But they do have a solid team. So if he did join them, they would be a threat. They got Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, TJ McConnell is slept on, Luwawa Cabarrot. He's nothing spectacular, but he'll give you minutes. Markelle Fultz will probably never be the same. He'll give you some points. He'll turn it around, but he won't be what everyone thought he was going to be. You still got Jared Bayless. He can still do some stuff, probably for 1 more year. You got Rocco, Robert Covington, Joel Embiid, Dario Saric. You got a good young team that if you add LeBron, LeBron's willing to go there. You could just use like maybe another guard. Because I don't know how much you want to trust Markelle Fultz. Probably use another guard, you'd be good on forwards really. A center behind Embiid, who they got, Amir Johnson. That's it. Embiid can't play 48 minutes. So you need another Rashawn Holmes. Fuck, I'm not playing him in the center anymore. I'm not playing him at all anymore. So yeah, get someone behind Embiid. Get another guard. Get another forward. Just get some young position guys to give you 8 minutes a game. Get rid of some of the guys that won't give you 8 minutes a game. Like, you don't really need Furkan Korkmaz. Amir Johnson you don't need. He's old. Demetrius Jackson, Ersan Ilyasova. I mean, he'll give you some minutes still. He's old, but he'll give you some minutes still. Get rid of Holmes. Marco Bellinelli's old. It's time for him to go, There's a lot of things the Sixers can do even without LeBron. So that's another one. A lot of young players. There's no veteran presence of LeBron who would want to join, just a lot of young players. So I don't know if he's going there. They would have to bring someone else in. And I don't think you want to because you'd mess up a lot of things. So Sixers, I'm going to say, are out. Right now, it's looking like the Lakers. Okay, there's 3 other teams they could join that would make sense to me. The Rockets, for obvious reasons, if they re-sign Capella and Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, they beat Golden State Warriors. So if they re-sign Capella, you're instantly in the running, and you can beat the weak East Conference in the NBA Finals, no matter who it is. I mean, they got Avery Bradley. Tobias Harris, I don't think even really did much, but you have him. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong roster. That didn't seem right. Yeah, I thought that seemed weird. Where the fuck is Houston at? I got confused by the colors. Ignore everything I said. I was reading that. I'm like, I'm saying this out loud, and none of that seems right. What the fuck the rock I said there? So Trevor Ariza, you have him coming off the bench. LeBron doesn't have to play 48 minutes for you anymore. Awesome. You have Clint Capella. Eric Gordon is gonna give a breather to James Harden or Chris Paul, either one. PJ Tucker's another guy to come off the bench. Brian Anderson can come off the bench for 6 minutes, 8 minutes a game. Tariq Black can come off 6 minutes a game. Gerald Green can come off the bench. Joe Johnson can do some things off the bench. Then you have Chinanu Onukwao. I honestly have no idea how to say his name, but I like him as a young center to come off the bench behind Capella, if that's a good. And Ba Mute can come off the bench, do some good things for you. So you're looking at Chris Paul, James Harden, LeBron James, Clint Capella at the center. So who's your four? Who would be your starting four? Do you play Nene as a four? He's old. Tariq Black as a four. I mean, really, put Joe Johnson, Gerald Green, not Tariq Black, but Joe Johnson, Gerald Green, PJ Tucker, any of them at this four starting. Then you have plenty of people off the bench still. Solid team. You wouldn't have to sign anybody else. You wouldn't have to sign the Paul Georges. If you did, I mean, that would fill your spot, and then you'd have to cut everyone, so you'd be down to like 8-guy roster, maybe 9. Otherwise, you don't really have the money for it. You could do it, but he could join them. It would make sense. That's a winning team. They should be the Warriors this year. Watch for the Rockets. LA and Rockets right now. Other team. New Orleans Pelicans. Wait, are you at? Yeah, no one expected the Pelicans, right? Here's why. Rajon Rondo, if they re-sign him, he looked damn good these playoffs. Can't even argue with that. They got Etwan Moore. Solid person. People sleep on him. He's not as great as he was supposed to be. But, you know, he can still give you some stuff. They have DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis, obviously. So he would never have to worry. Ron would never have to worry about playing the big positions. And they have Diallo. I don't know how to pronounce it. And Ajinka. Those both give you enough minutes off the bench to give DeMarcus and Anthony Davis rest. Anthony Davis doesn't need rest. Sorry, DeMarcus does. But you don't have to worry about playing LeBron at the 4 or 5. You have Frank Jackson to come off the bench. You still have Drew Holiday. He is not a free agent, by the way. I didn't see him. So unless he is, he just wasn't listed on that top 50 for some reason. Nikola Mirotic to come off the bench. So you can use another guard. Well, Ian Clark's not bad. Jordan Crawford's not bad. But, I mean, you could use another guard. So get LeBron and some guard just to play off the bench, and you're solid. Good team. Pelicans. I'm worried about their cap space, though. They have a lot of big contracts. That would be one worry. So I'd put them at like 3 right now. Behind the Lakers and the Rockets. And the final team, going back to the East, the Milwaukee Bucks. Great team if they signed everybody out there, all their free agents this year. Amazing team. You have LeBron to that. Disgusting. You put Giannis Antetokounmpo at the 4 or as a super fucking athletic 5. Either one. Okay. You have Eric Bledsoe and Malcolm Brogdon as 2 of the guards. Malcolm Brogdon, Rookie of the Year potential. Or he was Rookie of the Year potential. Did he win it? I think he won it, right? I don't know. He's fucking good. Sterling Brown's good. Eric Bledsoe's good. John Henson's a good center. You can put him as off the bench, or you can put him at the starting. It doesn't really matter. You got John Henson. You got Thon Maker. Thon Maker's good. You got Jabari Parker. Tony Snell will give you some minutes. He's nothing great. And then you got Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, Eric Bledsoe, all at the guard position. That's nasty. Shabazz Muhammad, good-ass player. He's perfect to fill in behind LeBron. Then you got Giannis playing the 4 or 5, Thonmaker 4 or 5, John Henson playing the 5, Brandon Jennings still. Think about it. That's a good team. You have LeBron. That's one piece that they're missing. Why? Because they're missing that veteran star. They have stars. Jabari Parker, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Eric Bledsoe isn't really a star, but he could. Malcolm Brogdon is a young star. Chris Middleton, Shabazz Muhammad, Thonmaker. All these young guys that just need that veteran, just star. They don't need a Jason Terry type veteran. They need a star type veteran. And that's what they get with LeBron. That's a damn good team. They might be second for me because of cap space for the Rockets. And Bucks honestly have a giant cap too because all their guys are getting out of rookie contracts, so they're gonna have to give them money. If they do it though, they would have less money than the Rockets, or they'd have more money to spend than the Rockets. So I'm gonna move them to 2. It's Lakers at 1, Bucks at 2, Rockets at 3 for LeBron. That's my picks. Remember that. He's not going to go to the Bucks. I'll tell you that now. He's not going to. I don't even think they're looking at him going there or getting him. But it wouldn't be a bad play. Lakers would probably be the smartest. Or the Rockets would technically be the smartest because for sure they're winning right away. Lakers, some pieces have to fall in. And for those of you saying, oh, he'll have people join him at the Cavs. First of all, no one wants to go to Cleveland. Everyone wants to play with LeBron. No one wants to go to Cleveland for it. If he does re-sign with the Cavs, it's going to be for 1 year. So who's going to want to sign a long-term deal with the Cavs just in case LeBron leaves? No one. So the only way people would join him if LeBron signs a 5-year extension and has already talked to people saying, hey, I'm going to sign a 5-year extension. Everybody come play with me. But it's not going to happen. Watch out, Lakers. Finally, to finish up the podcast, it's been a long one. Like I said, it probably would be. I'm sorry. We'll keep it under 2 hours, though. Finishing up, we're going to look at right here. You can actually look at it, too. You see? Yeah. Nope. It didn't pop up. There we go. World Cup. Group A, just who I picked, how we're looking now. These are the standings. So as we go. Group A, right now, Russia has 6 points. Uruguay has 6 points. Self-explanatory. I mean, kind of. If you don't know the point system, but it's wins and then they go like goals for and against and all that. But mainly it's based off of wins, the goals for against, or for tiebreakers. The differential. I think they just go differential and then they go points for. If the differential is tied, they go for points for, I believe. But Russia and Uruguay were my picks. Egypt was a sleeper pick. It's obviously not panning out for them. Obviously they lost to the top 2 teams, but they can't. It's set unless some crazy shit happens. It's set. So I was right there. Spain, Portugal were my picks. Iran was my 3rd pick. They could still pull it off. So Spain, Portugal has to get some things done. And they already played each other, so it all depends what happens here. Or they already played each other too. So it depends what Iran can do against Portugal. They need to play still. I think they played Spain. Yeah. Group C, Denmark, France were my picks. Peru was my 3rd. Australia was my 4th. I didn't think Australia had a chance. That's why they were 4th, not Peru, but I don't think Peru had a chance either. This one's pretty clean, cut and dry. Denmark and France, top 2. Group D, Croatia, fucking stunning the world. I picked Iceland and Argentina to, Croatia beat Nigeria, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. But I picked Argentina and Iceland, and I said Nigeria could do something. They could win, because every now and then there's an African team. And by every now and then, usually there's some African team to come out of nowhere to win. But obviously not this year unless they pull something crazy against Argentina and Iceland. Argentina, Iceland, my 2 picks. Croatia, you're going to be dropping off. Group E, I picked Switzerland and Brazil. Serbia beat Costa Rica. I actually had Serbia below Costa Rica, so that one surprised me. But Brazil and Switzerland, they drew, and they're going to beat Costa Rica and Serbia, so they're walking away with Group E. Group F, I had Sweden, Mexico. Everyone said Germany. I said Mexico's going to do some shit, and Sweden's looking fucking good. So I had Sweden, Mexico. We'll see. Literally, it's a Sweden-Germany match. South Korea, I didn't have at all. But Sweden can beat Germany, they're in. Because that's 2 losses for Germany. And they would just have to play South Korea, but you're not coming back from that. So, Sweden, Mexico, those are my picks. Those are the leaders right now. Sweden needs to beat Germany. Group G, I had Belgium, England. My buddy had Panama. Buddy coworker had Panama. And Tunisia, we both had at 4. I don't even know who that is, honestly. But Belgium, England are my picks. Looking like they're probably going to be safe. It just depends who wins their game or if they draw on who's 1 and 2. In this one, I had Poland and Japan. I believe my coworker had Poland, Colombia. I had Poland, Japan. So, I don't know. Where's Senegal? Where's that? The reason I didn't pick them is because I had no idea where they're at, honestly. But I probably would have picked them anyways. Oh, there's the Africa team. Boom. There's the Africa team for you. Senegal. But I did have Japan, and we'll see if Poland can win out to make the group as well. Do they lose to Senegal? Yeah, they lost to Senegal. So they need to beat Japan, which isn't going to happen. But Japan and Senegal looking like they're probably going to win that group. I mean, Colombia could beat Senegal. Japan's good. Colombia could beat them. Senegal. How bad did they lose? 2-1. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. So Colombia could win, but Japan, Poland are still my picks there. There you have it. There's my awesome notes for the day. So that was a great podcast. I said I was going to keep it under 2 hours. I'm going to keep it under 1 hour and 50 for you. How's that? Surprise, surprise. Long podcast, 2 hours. That's a episode of Monday Night Raw is 3 for you wrestling fans. SmackDown is 2 hours. So you can sit through all those commercials with SmackDown. You can sit through me flapping my gums and being boring, probably. I don't know what you guys think of me. But that's to be determined. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me or subscribe if you want to make me some money on Twitch. Subscribe there too. Ruskell Gaming in the corner. My hand comes off screen. Right now I'm underneath it, but I'm pointing the wrong way. Fuck. Ruskell Gaming, the little RG. That is my Twitch and YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, comment what you like, comment what you dislike, comment what you think I should talk about. Just leave me some feedback. I don't care. It's a shitty podcast. I know it. Eventually it won't be shitty. If I keep working at it, it won't be shitty. But yeah, it happens. I'm going to find some good exit music to listen to. Let's just go to my daily mix and see what shows there. There we go. Finish with some Tim McGraw, Real Good Man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 7. Peace.